Stabu 7. A heads up for folks that are in Florida that may be looking to go over the Roosevelt Bridge in Stewart. Now, the Coast Guard is saying that there is a risk of imminent collapse at this bridge right now. They're warning boaters to avoid the area. They have discovered a massive crack in the bridge. So, underneath and on the side, I'm going to show you a couple different shots here. This is what they're dealing with. You can see here, there's a big crack there. And then they've got other shots. And when you go in here to look at these shots, here they lay it out again. They've got the crack here. They're saying that this is going to be no easy fix. The chunks of concrete are falling down into the water. And they've got this whole area shut down. So there's a look at the Coast Guard boat sitting out there, making sure no one else goes underneath the bridge. This is a main bridge that goes over the northwest section of Dixie Highway as it cuts down over here toward the land. So just a heads up, this may cause some problems for people in terms of traveling. And if you are expecting to go boating down here or passing underneath this bridge, it's all closed off. Hopefully, this thing don't come crashing down and cause any problems, but at least they're on top of it as of right now. I will leave a link and I'll update with more info as I come across it. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and DLive for exclusive content. You'll find links below in the description box. Much love.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, starting at verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg. Uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance. I will not meet thee as a man. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory. Call Halayim, La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity, risking their lives and freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwathini Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, it's an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, looking like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth to you. I say shalom. This is the brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming to you with another lesson through the spirit and power of the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. And basically, I saw a video by the guy Dabu 7. You know, he goes into different things. A lot of brothers believe he watches some of our videos, and I know some brothers watch some of his. So, you know, like I said, I saw that video, put up a copyright disclaimer because just using the information to teach, not getting paid off of this or anything. But, you know, it just goes back to show you, I was going to bring out more information because the thing is, you know, that bridge is a major, iconic bridge, put it like that. But that's not the only part of America that's basically crumbling and falling apart. You got multiple, you know, these roads, these bridges, like they were saying, because a lot of the stuff was built, you know, back in America's heyday, back when, you know, America would be considered was being considered great, you know, or, you know, world power. Today we're not. I mean, of course, we're still a world power, but like I said, like I was listening to Elder Ariala and, you know, the brother, they just did another world algorithm. And it's funny because they did theirs, I believe, yesterday or today, and I did one pretty much on the same subject. It wasn't an algorithm. I don't do those, but, you know, we went into a lot of the same material, so I just take that the Most High wanted to bring that information out. Because, like I said, basically, you got these countries that's basically because of, you know, ultimately, at the end of the day, everything will be about money. And that's why it tells you in Matthew 6:24, you can't love the Most High and mammon. You know what I mean? Like greed, you know what I mean? Like people are jockeying him in for position because, I mean, how they about to set up this system with this RFID chip and technology and trade routes and all that plays a part in commerce and money. And you got these countries that's seeing that America's weak right now because at the end of the day, that's what that scripture was talking about in Isaiah. I mean, you know what I mean? Lift up thy skirt because America's being exposed for the whore it is. You know what I mean? That'll be in bed with all these different nations, but yet still calling herself a lady. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure you met actual women. I know I have. These women. How dare you call me a whore, but you're doing everything like a whore do? You know what I mean? I respect the whore that say, "Shit, I'm a whore." You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna say respect, but I could appreciate that more than a person that's so so naive to believe that you supposed to treat me like a lady, but I'm acting like a man or a whore, like I said. Anyhow, that's just like with those protests. I mean, you got to remember we in significant times. I mean, you got other countries where they protesting for George Floyd, not just in America. So like like that scripture said in Isaiah 47, um, you know, this nakedness, thy nakedness has been revealed. You know what I mean? Basically with all the policies against, Jake, how Judah's, been taking the blunt of a lot of, the punishment or the anger of these red Hebrew Edomites. And like I said, at the end of the day, that's not the only structure that's damaged. Like I grew up in a city called East Cleveland, in Cleveland, and if you ever do any history on it, you go into the Rockefellers. That was the city that the Rockefellers actually lived in. You know, well, they lived pretty much everywhere. When you go to history, they say he, like, they came and visited like once a year after the wife died or whatnot. But you got to remember, these people probably, I mean, like these people probably got homes all over the country in every state. You know what I mean? Different countries in the world. I mean, that's not what's the word? That's not so impossible to fathom. You know what I mean? Like they said, Putin has like multiple mansions, like up to like 70 mansions. You know what I mean? So Putin has a significant amount of money as well. But not to digress and jump around. So my point being, and point of the article, or what is in the article, the video, is because of the fact, like I said, this place is truly being brought low. I'm gonna bring out the book of Malachi chapter 1, starting at verse 3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, while Yahweh shall have hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh, while Yahweh shall have indignation forever. The point was, they shall build, but I will throw down. You got America still building buildings right now, but barely fixing the infrastructure, or they're trying to, patch up roads and fix certain structures, but it's all to naught. You know what I mean? This place shall be destroyed with a sword destruction. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, this is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord, which destroyeth all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks and will make thee a burnt mountain. And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundations, but thou shalt be desolate forever, saith the Lord. Because when you go into that, basically, after, Esau is rounded up and they serve their captivity, they're going to be destroyed. I mean, completely, utterly destroyed. You know what I mean? And rightfully so, because when you take the time to think about, I mean, the things that this man has done, you know what I mean? That's why, like right now we're in the stages beginning of war, you know what I mean? And the land's going to have to rest because, I mean, this man has literally destroyed the whole planet, you know what I mean? Like, and his philosophies have been adopted and adapted by other countries, which they're destroying the world. Look at China. Look how much pollution they causing. That's why, it's a lot of scriptures that go into Moab. You know what I mean? And basically, them like two of the most wicked, like nations in the Bible when you take the time to think about it. And then when you look at how it's funny because China is actually like dealing with Ham off in Africa, but then off in China a lot of the Moabite men they deal with like the Edomite woman. It's just weird, what I mean, how the Lord got it set up. But they like neck and neck with Esau to a certain extent. Like they ruthless on a lot of their business practices. I mean, come on, like I said, why do you think? Look, the whole skirmish that they having against India, that's over land and money. You know what I mean? And that hasn't just started, and that's not going away. You know what I mean? I was gonna bring out some information about that bridge. It says Roosevelt Bridge. So they closed it. It says the Roosevelt Bridge is a major highway segmental bridge across the St. Lucie River in Stuart, Florida, carrying U.S. Route 1 highway, unsigned State Road 5. It was built to supersede the old Roosevelt Bridge, which had twin parallel drawbridges, one for northbound traffic and the other for southbound. The new bridge completed in 1996. So take time to think about that. That's only like 24 years old. That's a new bridge. It's already cracking. Just showing you that that's more spiritual than anything. It's a bridge. I can't remember what year it was built, but I think it's the Detroit Superior Bridge. I never forget. I learned about the bridge because of when I was in construction. They said the guy that actually designed the bridge had no credentials. He wasn't an architect, but he designed the bridge, and the bridge still is standing today. And it was built way before '96. So it's funny that bridge, I mean, it doesn't have these major major structural damage as opposed to this. Like I said, this bridge, like I said, if it was the new bridge, if it was built in 1996, like I said, it's only 2020. You know what I mean? That's only 24 years. That's sad, and that's just a testament to this place, how this place is crumbling, being broken down, and eventually will be destroyed. Salaki, the southbound span of the twin drawbridges. Salaki, the southbound span of the old bridge is still functional for road and boat traffic and now carries two-way road traffic for what is known as the Dixie Highway. So I don't know if they took the old structure and expanded on it or if they built a whole new bridge. I mean, I believe that might be the bridge because I've been to Florida when I was first coming into the truth. And it is a major bridge down there, like where that downtown area is. It lights up like our bridge does. So I'm assuming this is the same bridge, because most major cities, they football teams, they stadiums are usually downtown because, I was homeless down there. So where we were dropped off at, we pretty much stayed in that vicinity and everything was like right in that little vicinity, you know what I mean? Within like maybe like 2-3 miles. The new high-level Roosevelt Bridge is approximately 1 mile long and is made of 2 3-lane sections running parallel to each other. The northbound bridge is completed first and housed 2 lanes of both north and southbound traffic until the second bridge was finished. The Roosevelt Bridge is a target for many protests in the area. And that's the part I wanted. See, they didn't go into it, but it says a major area where they use to protest. And that's just a testament to the fact that how this place, like I said, you got all this, what's the word? You got all this, basically how America's divided. You know what I mean? And that's, at the end of the day, I mean, that spirit, that energy is going to lead to this place falling quicker, you know. Bear with me for a second. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51. I'm going to start. 6, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. And when you're reading this, this is not speaking on ancient Babylon. This is speaking about modern day Babylon, because America, or the U.S., or AKA America, is the modern day Babylon. Is the modern day. The scriptures refer to this place in a lot of it uses a lot of ancient names to refer to this place today. Like when you go in the book of Revelations, when it talks about Sodom and Egypt, you know what I mean? Like Egypt means dire straits. You know what I mean? That's the Greek word for Mizraim. And and basically it means dire straits. So the Israelites were in bondage to the Hamitic Egyptians then, and now the modern day Egyptian is this so-called white man, this red Hebrew Edomite. I mean, who keeps a lot of the practices that was going on back then going today. I mean, even when you go into history, secular history, and when you look up like Ptolemy, you got to understand when Alexander the Great was in power and he split his power up between his generals. You had one of the generals named Ptolemy, and basically that's where you get Cleopatra and all that from. You got people, at one point in time, I'm not gonna toot my horn like I'm just so smart. At one point in time, I thought Cleopatra was black. You got so-called black women walking around with a white woman tattooed on her, not understanding that was a red man, that was a white man. When you go into Ptolemy, Cleopatra was his daughter. Ptolemy was one of the generals of Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great is like their hero, the Greek. We don't call him the Great, the Greek. That's Esau's hero, you know what I mean? And he was a tactician and a warrior, but he was a homosexual as well. And that's why we literally say that Esau is a naturally born faggot. That's why, like you got Jake do some off shit, but you got Jake trying to fit in with Esau, so that's why they adopt on philosophies for real. People like Samuel L. Jackson, to make it in society or make it in Esau's land, they took on this. Like, that's crazy. Salakia, not to digress, it says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, meaning don't get caught up in iniquity, because this place going to get judged for the iniquity. It tells you that her sins going to reach on to heaven. And I believe they have. When you take the time to pay attention, if you're looking at things with a spiritual eye, literally, I remember they was talking about, Boosie said the shoe to the Most High. You had Ari Spears questioning if the Most High was real. He was up there saying, when you look at the world and the beauty of it, he said, if you can't help but to know that it's a creator. Somebody had to create the beauty of this. But then he was questioning. And then you had Dwayne Wade with the shit with his son. I sort of like a couple of weeks later, said they say, COVID out here. You got celebrities talking about they need to just do away with 2020. You ain't even ready for what's about to happen in 2021, though. If you already scared of 2020, like that. You take time to think about it. It ain't even as bad as it could be yet. Okay, they was already euthanizing the animals back when, like in March, April. It's June, going almost to July. You gonna wait, it's gonna be fucking around August and food gonna be scarce. I mean, like, that's the only inevitable thing that can happen. You know what I mean? You got a large population of people. And then the greediness, the greed of these people, you gotta remember, that's what happened with the toilet paper and fucking hand sanitizer. You know what I mean? And it worked out to a certain extent where they was able to make more. But still, though, like, most people is not going to think about you and yours. They're going to think about them and theirs. You know what I mean? Courtesy of Babylon. You know what I mean? The philosophy of Babylon. Babylon teaches you to be the best and take the most, and, you know what I mean, be the best you can be, and, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, it's just this win above all odds attitude that, you know what I mean? Like, and that's going to get a lot of people destroyed. I was going back and forth with a chick. Well, not really. I left a comment and I left a scripture. She made a statement. I left a comment, and that was it. I wasn't going to go back and forth. You know what I mean? I'm not fucking this woman. What am I arguing with you for? You know what I'm saying? Like, but it just showed you the bitterness and the philosophy of these stupid ass women. I literally seen women scared when they shut this shit down. But now that things are open again, they not this, and that shows you a testament to how crazy you are. Because I ain't saying you're supposed to be walking around like, oh, I'm not going outside the house, but you should be like trying to figure out or wonder like, damn, this could happen, that can happen. You know what I mean? Nah, they done open this up again, and everybody just like, this shit ain't never happened. And that's how you know a lot of stupid ass people gonna take. I mean, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, or I just don't take a person's word for shit though. I'll go and look stuff up. They literally, this thing that they want to put in you can literally change your DNA. You know, the book of Revelations talk about the swords, you know what I mean? And this chip or this mark that they're talking about obviously is going to be something that's going to be able to leave sores on your body. You know what I mean? If you go into any of that RFID technology, it's just deep. Salakia for jumping around or babbling on. It's just, you know, well, it tells you in the scriptures that in the first book of First Corinthians about how by the foolishness of preaching, it pleased the Lord to save those that, roughly paraphrasing, by the foolishness of preaching to save those, you know, and it tells you in scripture that the wisdom of this world is as foolishness to the Most High. You know what I mean? Because I mean, even with this technology they're trying to build, that shit is not gonna save you. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, how you gonna control your destiny and you can't even control how the fuck you look? You can't. Hey, let's show you that with David Rockefeller. True story. That man had the money to literally get 7 heart transplants. His body was dying. He had the money to actually literally, I think he was getting like a heart transplant like every year or every 2 years, to the point where on the 7th heart transplant, because he just kept on trying to do it, the Lord took him out. You know what I mean? That's why it talks about that in the book of Luke, about how say, thy foolish man, he said how the man was trying to build up. He tore down the one barn and built it back up to make it bigger to store more stuff. And he was like, he's going to sit back and roughly paraphrasing, he's going to sit back and enjoy, you know, his profits. And then, you know, it said that the Lord said, "Oh foolish man, thy require thy soul." You know what I mean? You don't know the day you're going to leave, the day the Most High going to call you home. But all things bend to the will of the Most High. That's in the book of Sirach, chapter 18. Back in Jeremiah 51, verse 7, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her. Pain. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reaching onto heavens and is lifted up even to the sky. And when these ICBMs hit this place, that smoke is going to roll up to the sky. Like I said, it tells you, like I said in the book of Revelations, that her sins have reached up into the heavens. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a very, very, very wicked place. I mean, and the thing is, I don't even think the Lord is allowing us to know exactly what all goes on, because you probably couldn't stomach it. Do you realize you're not even eating real fucking food? I was talking to one of the young brothers, and we was talking about bread, like the wheat bread. And I had some bread. I think I had this bread like for a whole fucking month. The bread never molded or nothing. And I'm like, God damn. You know what I mean? So I just threw it away, you know what I mean? And I never really paid it. That's why when you getting bread, you got to buy that $4 or $5 loaf of bread, because that little dollar loaf of bread, that's not real bread. That's like some GMO, genetically modified type shit. And then the craziest part, to show you how sick and fucked up these people were, they wouldn't eat that shit, but they got you eating it. Like this shit, people don't even know this much. Like with that Bill Gates shit, this man literally put money into basically making lab-grown meat. You don't know what that shit is? You know what I'm saying? Come on. If you sit back late night and just watch TV, I'll be watching TV like, you know, I'll be watching TV late, right? I'm seeing drugs that's been out for years, like Xanax. That shit been out for years. Now they recalling it, talking about you got a lawsuit because it causes cancer. Like, it seemed like everything... Every drug they made causes cancer. But yet still you got a dumbass person that will take this medicine. Like, you'd be better off, I take my chances with some herbs and some prayers to the Lord. I wouldn't even take that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, at the time, I remember I was on this shit called, what was it called? Nexium. And I ain't gonna lie, you know, because at one point I had ulcers. So, you know what I mean? I took it and it did make me feel better. But that was like maybe, what, 10, 15 years ago, way before I came in the truth. Now that I'm in the truth, I wouldn't take that shit. You know how much expensive it is now that's the only, I've never heard them actually have a recall or say something about Nexium. But now I know about the Groves and cherry juice and all kind of stuff that's good for your gut. You know what I mean? You know, you got maple syrup and honey is good for your gut. You know what I mean? Like just natural stuff. Salakia. I was gonna get because I ain't mean to make this long. I always do that. That'll just be the spirit though. I'm starting the book of Isaiah, Isaiah chapter 13 verse 9. I mean Isaiah chapter 13 verse 19. In Babylon the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans, excellency shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So this is another scripture where it's saying Babylon, but it's not talking about ancient Babylon. It's talking about the modern day Babylon. Because believe it or not, the ancient Babylon never was destroyed. You know what I mean? People don't even know this when you go into history and go look up. The Bible is real. You know what I mean? Like people don't believe that, but the Bible is real. You know what I mean? Like when you go into Babylon, Babylon is actually Iraq. They just changed the names. That's why in scripture it tells you how, you know, this red Hebrew Edomite changed the landmarks. And he names like countries and shit after himself. People think Africa is an actual name of like some black person. Africa is named after a so-called white man. A man named Leo Scipius Africanus, who was a Roman general. And he fought against Hannibal Barca, that was a so-called black man, and they fought a whole bunch of wars called the Punic Wars, and basically Hannibal Barca literally, but that was all through the spirit, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna show you how cold Hannibal was. To this day, his tactics is still used in military today. There's nothing new under the sun, you know what I mean? And if I'm sure, I mean, somebody had to tell you this, but he's the man that literally went with the elephants and snuck down the Alps and basically invaded Sicily. That's why they say they did so much fucking that basically that's why you have the so-called Italians that is blonde hair, blue eyes that don't really fuck with the Sicilians because the Sicilians got that darker skin because they did that much fucking. They fucked all the women to the point where they basically, and that's what nations do. That's what people do. You know what I mean? It's called spoils of war and booty and all that. You know what I mean? Usually, no matter what nation conquers what nation, the women and the children are literally, you know, put to the side because the children gonna be slaves, women gonna be used as booty, and the men of fighting age gonna be destroyed. They're gonna be killed. And that ain't just, you know what I mean, that's been going around forever. You know what I mean? I mean, they got that going on now. But the crazy part is the Lord is about to flip it and let it happen here. See, you people love this great America, this motherfucking great beast so bad, but you don't even understand what it represents and what they do. You get what I'm saying? Like, now wait, see, and the way he doing it is gonna be so cold too. They literally abolishing the police force in your fucking face. When have we living in a time in history when they shutting down police departments? It went from the Seattle one already, not Seattle, Minneapolis one already went down. Now they talking about Seattle because they not in their police department. And they talking about defunding it. New York talking about defunding it. And they trying to talk about it in Atlanta. Want to know why they going to do that? Because it's going to be UN troops actually fucking walking around. And they say, and the Lord got these people blinded. Salakia. It says, back in Isaiah 13, it says, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, which this was a glory on the kingdoms. That's why you got people that want to come here. You got people so blinded, they still trying to come here now. You know what I mean? But I mean, like, you'd be a fool to try and come here. You was a fool to think of Donald Trump was going to make America great again. Like, how he going to make this shit great again? After, mind you, now your workforce was like 100 million people. Half of them people ain't working. How the fuck is you gonna make America great again? People really think that it's gonna be an election at the end of the year. Like, no, it's not. That's why you got the whole vaccination shit coinciding with that. Like, man, Salakia, fluff and mirrors, right? It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, because this place is going to be destroyed by ICBM missiles. You know what I'm saying? And look at the tension now. You know what I mean? You got North Korea and America. You got China and America. You know what I mean? You had Russia and America. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, there you got the EU, like I said, cut ties with America, and Donald Trump cut ties with them. You know what I mean? To a certain extent, you know. So I mean, it's not looking good for the horde. You know what I mean? Like, it says there. It says. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, and the wild beasts of islands shall cry. The point was, basically, Babylon the Great, the glory of kingdoms, but it's going to be brought down low. That's what I wanted to get. It said, shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And what's the story that everybody understands about Sodom and Gomorrah? That the Most High rained down fire and sulfur and destroyed the place. You know what I mean? But just modern day America is going to be destroyed with the ICBM. I have one more scripture, and then I'm going to end the lesson. Book of Revelations. Revelations 18 verse. Why is this doing it? This is crazy. You see how it's saying Revelations 18 verse. That's these apps. You get what I'm saying? It's saying Revelations 18 but chapter 51. It ain't no 51 in Revelations. This is Revelation chapter 18, verse 2. I'm going to start at verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And I go back to what I was just reading in, what's that, Isaiah chapter 13. You know what I mean? How this place is going to be laid waste and desolate. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And that's why we call her the whore. You know what I mean? It tells you in the book of Revelations about it was a woman that sat on a scarlet colored beast. You get what I'm saying? And that's AKA America, because at the end of the day, it's a whore because, you know what I mean, it deals with all these different nations for commerce, for money, you know what I mean? Just like a whore or a prostitute would. Verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Because it tells you in the book of Zechariah, the plague of the Most High will be, you know, those ICBMs is going to be a plague. The cherry is going to be a plague. You know what I mean? And when it says come out of her, like you got a lot of people that, when you go into show you how this American dream is really an American nightmare, these people have people so fucking food. I mean, don't get me wrong, you got people that do well in America, but you got a lot of people, you got more people struggling than you got people that's doing well. If it's even them that's just trying to live or put themselves on a level of the Joneses, you know what I mean? Like my sister was like that. Like she had a freshest shit, drive a little decent car, had a freshest shit home, but she killing herself. She working 2-3 jobs. You know what I'm saying? And that's the American dream. Verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh shall have remembered her iniquities. Verse 6, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled to her double, meaning all the wickedness that this place has manifested in the world, this place is gonna receive double of that. You get what I'm saying? So just like I said, like in Venezuela, you had people literally starving. You had women selling their body for fucking sandwiches because of the sanctions that was put on this place. Because because Esau, he doesn't just fight you physically with the sword, with the gun or missiles. He'll put sanctions on you. He'll fuck with your money. That's economic warfare. Like Esau. I mean, when you go into just the whole aspect of like Esau and Jacob and Esau and the attributes of those two people in the Bible, literally goes back to a group of people on the planet. You got a certain group of people like Jake. Jake was a simple man dwelling in tents. So most Jakes, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, literally just like to lean back and just be up under their woman and how they, like they ain't trying to conquer every fucking, like if it's somebody like that, then that ain't, that ain't a Jake probably. Because don't get me wrong, Jake will fight for his shit. You know what I'm saying? Like when King David was doing all that fighting, the Most High put him in this position. He had conquered and had a kingdom. So he had to keep that kingdom. When you put in a position like that, you're going to have to fight to keep it. You know what I'm saying? You got to prove that you're worthy of having it. You know what I'm saying? But did what? The Most High basically allowed him to transliterate the kingdom to well, he was able to give the kingdom to Solomon. And when Solomon, you had David that had 40 years of war, and Solomon had 40 years of peace. It was the most prosperous time in Israel's history. You know what I'm saying? But it tell you when people say peace, peace, then sudden destruction come. And when you read the scriptures about how Solomon basically, the nation, it wasn't in Solomon's time. It was because of the love for King David. He didn't take it from Solomon like that. He took it from his son. But that you got to take time to think about that. That ain't even that far. His son Rehoboam is the one that actually got the kingdom split. You know what I mean? For bad counsel and just pride. You know what I mean? So there's more here. Verse 7, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. And that's the pride of these motherfucking devils. You know what I'm saying? Even with they shit going down, they literally acting like that's why they can make a statement, we gonna make America great again. When was this place really great for certain people? It was great for certain people and it wasn't great for certain people. Even those that got some that have attained some kind of position in the society, from these entertainers to these athletes to, some of these, prominent business people and whatnot. Like, yet still, that movie Blood and Bones show it. Esau looked at it like, yeah, you could get some of my scraps, but you could never eat at my table. It tell you that in scripture though. Like, it's funny how so many different things use scriptures. That's in the Bible though. When the lady came begging the Messiah to, he said, no dogs. He said, how he say? But the lady basically was like, even the dogs eat the scraps from her master's table, roughly paraphrasing. It says, verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. For strong is the Lord, Yahweh, who judgeth her. So that's another scripture leading and alluding to the fact that this place is going to be hit with ICBM missiles. That's why they tell you the first death was with water and the second death will be with flame and fuel of fire. You living in a time right now. Why do you think they got the what's that clock called? That basically that clock that talk about the end of the world. And they said that the end of the world will become by ICBM missiles, by by nuclear warfare. You know what I mean? And these movies show you that. And then you got all these countries right now with ICBMs. You know what I'm saying? Like they were saying about I think it was who said that? Somebody just made a I think it was Immortal Technique. I think he an Ephraimite. But long story short, he was saying how, they blew down on Saddam Hussein, talking about, I hear you got weapons of mass destruction. He like, no, we ain't got no weapons of mass destruction. So they went in there, they took his gold, they basically, ransacked the country, put who they wanted to be in office, all that type shit, just like they try to do in Venezuela. But then they try to do it to Kim Jong Un. Kim Jong Un, yeah, yeah, we got some missiles. What's happening? They went up in that bitch, did they? And people don't even realize what's about to happen, man. Like I said, like all these things happening, or geopolitical plane, as well as right in your face. Come on, people probably don't even know they about to do a whole satanic protest, like in what, on Father's Day at that, on the pagan ass Father's Day. You know what I'm saying? It's the Shabbat that day too, and then they about to have a pagan holiday a pagan protest, which they gonna do nationwide. So why would you think that the Lord is not gonna judge this fucking place? Revelations 18:10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And that's the point, you know what I'm saying? It's more in here because, like I said, this is a great chapter, but at the same time, basically showing you that this place gonna be taken down. It's falling down, and that's the whole point of the video. Like I said, that's a major sign. Like I said, they said there was protest on that just like brothers been bringing out about how like the Washington Monument got struck by lightning, and just all these those are all spiritual signs. If you got the eye to see, the Most High God always is speaking. It's just if you're listening, you know what I'm saying? Like, so with that, I'm going to end the lesson. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory, call halalim, la Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Erchakadosh, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth of faith and sincerity, risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwati and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, is an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, looking like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To USA, shalom. Till next time, Lord willingly, shalom, shalom, and abad babal, mawat la babal, shalom.